Parshas Chukas is a parsha which is Mod Gorali. It's a fateful parsha because Moshe and Aaron have the main Meriva. At the time of they were sent to get water for the Jewish people, right? And Hashem told them, go and speak to the rock. And instead of speaking to the rock, Moshe Rabbeinu hit the rock. And the Kodesh Baruch Hu said, because you hit the rock and you didn't speak to it, therefore, you're not going to bring the Jewish people into Eretz Yisrael. However, back in Parshas Beshalach, Kodesh Baruch Hu told Moshe, go and hit the rock. Why is it that in the original command in Parshas Beshalach, you hit, and here you speak? And why is that such a major difference? That because of that, Moshe Rabbeinu can't be the leader to bring the Jewish people into Eretz Yisrael. I think that we're talking about water. We have to understand that water is a very, very interesting object, substance. The first thing that we ever hear about in the Torah is Ruach Elokim Merachefet Al Pnei Hamayim, water. I think that water is the strongest substance on earth. Water wears down everything. And water puts everything together. Any solution has got water. Any liquid has got some combination of water. Even if it's an acid, it's got some aspect of H2O in there, right? Even though it's got other things, but there's some combination to make it a liquid. There's water. Water is I think, perhaps the symbol of the essence of nature. The kayach of the world is water. And Miriam, whose schus it was that we had the be'er in the beginning, Miriam was stronger than water. Miriam was mitgaberet ala teva. Her father made a gzeira. They're telling us to take our children and throw our children into the river, to kill our children, right? So don't get married. He was right. He was right. Right? So go to the daughter. Miriam said, wrong. Miriam said, we go against nature. We don't worry about the Gzeira. We do what we have to do. Miriam is standing when they throw Moshe Rabbeinu into the river. She's standing upon the waters to see what's going to happen. Miriam goes out at the Yam, at Kriyas Yamsuf, takes a Miriam, right, and all the ladies after her. Shira Lashem Kigoga, because the essence of what Miriam stands for is she is mitgaber. Hashem is stronger than nature. We see that even today. Chazal say you have a Be'er Miriam. What's the Be'er Miriam? It says you go and you look into the middle of the Yam Kinneret, you can see the Be'er Miriam. That's also a natural aspect. Because though Yam Kinneret is pretty small, Yam Kinneret is very interesting. There are very strong water currents in Yam Kinneret. There are areas of Yam Kinneret that are extremely, extremely strong. When you rent a boat and you take out your family into Yam Kippur, they tell you exactly where you can go. You go too far into the middle, they get very, very nervous. They come out for you. Yam Kippur has a lot of power. Okay. And Yam Kippur is that's why, because I'll say there's the Be'er Miriam in the Yam Kippur. There are certain forces of water within water. It's tremendous. Because Miriam shows Kayach above water. But Moshe's not that way. Moshe, minamayim mishisiyu. He's drawn out of the water. He's not mitgaber on the water. He's drawn out of the water. He is daber el bnei Yisrael v'yisau. Before you put your hand out, what's going to split the sea is the Jewish people going through. Moshe Rabbeinu, the people come to bitter water, throw a piece of wood in, v'yimteku hamayim. You work with the water. As long as the zechus of the water was from Miriam, so she was from the door that they could overcome nature. And therefore there, you hit the rock. Nature is subservient to you. That's the door of Miriam, the door of the Yotzei Mitzrayim. That generation, they were the ones who were able to be mitgaber and tough and break through. And for them, it's the right thing. You hit the rock, it brings the water. But here, it's a new generation. This is a generation that's coming into Eretz Yisrael different than the first generation. They have to work within nature. And now that they have to work within nature, you have to work within nature. You speak. And therefore, trying to overcome nature, trying to do force in a generation where you got to speak, doesn't work. We have that in our lives too. There was a generation where you could do everything by force. It was a different generation. You know, you had the generation of even in Israel, the tough, right? The sabras, you know, the tough ones. It's a different world. We deal with a different world. You can't work with force. You won't get through. You might get through a little bit, but it's not going to accomplish. We're dealing with a world in which we've got to work with the people. It's a totally different world. In this world, we have to learn the lesson. Sometimes people are as tough as rocks. Sometimes even tougher. We've got to learn how to speak to the rock. Only by speaking to the rock are we able to bring forth the mayim, ein mayim el Torah. That's perhaps one of the aspects that is a lesson for our generation. Dibartem, and through that we'll come to the Torah.